What's going on, y'all? Here with another Down to the Wire episode. This is a special one. This is the first time we are here in Brooklyn. We are at Canarsie High School. We are here with Coach Ryan. Nice to meet you,
Nice
Coach.
to meet you. Nice
and Coach Jake. Nice to meet you, Coach. Thank
Same
you
here.
for having me.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all for your time.
Yes.
So let's get into it. Could you give us a brief overview of the program here at Canarsie?
It's a rich history.
Right.
Canarsie basketball here had some winning seasons, and then after that, there's been a history. They went to the Final Four. Last time went to the Final Four, 2007.
Okay, so it's been a while.
It's been a while. They had some notable players. You had World Be Free that went here, John Sally.
Right.
And
Shout
then,
out to John Sally, World Be Free.
Yes.
Very notable alumni, as we talked right here.
Definitely. Yeah, we just had another recent alumni that been coming around. Nat Lester. He went to Hofstra. He's the all-time leading scorer here.
Right. Shout out Nat.
2,000 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the history that I try to come in and follow.
When I come in and follow.
Yeah,
copy.
when I took over the program was down
Mm-hmm.
for some years. I took over the program and I had 13 wins.
Wow. When was that, if you don't mind me asking?
That was 2017.
Gotcha.
They had 13 wins.
Wow.
And when I came in here in 2018, I got the job late.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, we was in the A division. First year here, we went to the Final Four.
Wow. So you changed the culture around, it's safe to say.
Yes, and changing cultures in this time of day is kind of hard.
Absolutely. It's hard to get everybody on board for the same mission.
Definitely, because you gotta not only persuade the youth, you gotta persuade the parents also.
Right.
In that aspect, trying to get the kids and the people to believe that you can go to college, have an opportunity. That's the thing I've been driving for my years here at Canarsie. And I think between the last 3 years up until now, that culture actually has been rising to the vision that I came in here for. And as today, we have a notable player with about 4 or 5 Division I offers.
Wow, congratulations. That's great work, Coach.
Thank you. And we have a whole downline of student athletes now striving and working for college scholarship. This is their goals.
The opportunity to be next up.
Definitely.
For sure.
So I think the culture has changed, and I think the change for the better.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of parents backing us and involved in what we do. So I think
that's great.
And the neighborhood actually.
The community.
Once
the community is backing you guys,
yes.
It's very hard to beat that.
Definitely. And we got a strong backing with the community. So I think with the origin and coach, I think we actually doing a good job.
That's great, Coach. Now, can I pivot to you?
Yeah.
This being your first year, how has the culture been since you started?
One of the key elements once I came in, we lost last year because I've been around the program. This is my first year actually coaching and helping with the development and trying to align with Coach Jake's vision. So once we came in, I think we basically had an overhaul of the roster.
Right.
So we try to get guys to fit what we wanted to establish as the culture.
Okay, so you have your culture and then you build your team around your culture. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
okay,
we have it's a starting point of how we want to play. When you look at Canarsie, as you guys talked about the community, Canarsie is a community in itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So your team, in a lot of ways, reflect the community. So the community want to see the guys play hard, to see them play with some type of toughness,
passion.
And real passion.
Right.
They could tell. Guys, you could play a good game and they could still tell you, they ain't play hard enough. They ain't, there's no toughness there, this, that, and the third. So that was what we wanted to achieve, but I think most of all, we wanted guys to play with pride for, Canarsie.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And the community was going back that once they felt that.
Absolutely. Now we know that your team's culture and where it comes from. What would you say is your team's identity? Teams come to play Canarsie. What kind of team are they playing?
They know they're coming to play a relentless defensive team that's going to turn you over, that's going to crash the boards, 4 or 5 guys crashing the boards, that's diving on the ball. So it's relentless defense. They know it's just a hard-nosed defensive team.
Right.
That's what they coming in every night, We're going to pick you up 94 feet. We're going to slow you down. We're going to get you out of what you want to do. One of the things we wanted to do, not just to get them to play relentless and hard on the defense, but to be smart. So within that, there's still schemes, and we got teams to do what we want them to do.
Absolutely.
And that changes everything for us.
What about yourself, Coach? Would you say the identity is the same as what he described?
Yes, definitely. That was definitely our identity, especially coming down at the end of the season, because like you said, we brought in this year. We had 9 new players.
Wow. So all transfers?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So we had 9 new players on this 12-man roster. So to get that, it just don't come in overnight.
Man.
So it took us time.
That's
to
tough.
Actually,
that's tough.
To finally buy in.
I've never speak to a school that has 9 transfers. That's tough. I give my hats off, tip my cap to y'all for real.
And coming down to the end of the season, when we I think when we got to the boroughs, that's when I think it really started clicking.
Right.
We got to the boroughs, and then the guys really
started to gel and mesh.
So,
what you saying? You have 9 transfers. How many returning students do you have coming back for next year?
We actually have 7 returning.
Okay. So you could build off a foundation for next year.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, got you.
And we have some of the core pieces that are returning.
Right.
Also, which is a great deal. So I think, like you said, for next year, we're looking pretty solid for next year.
That's great. That's great to hear. When kids come to play for Canarsie, what do you expect from them, and what should they expect to come and play for you?
Well, kids come to play here at Canarsie, we expect them to, number one, to be a good student athlete. We're looking for you to be a good student. We're looking for you when you come into the gym, blood, sweat, and tears. We want you to work hard, 110% every day, right? Because we also try to preach and train. Practice should be harder than the games.
Right, yeah. Practice molds you for the games. It gets you ready for the game. So
Definitely.
when you're in the game, it should be a breeze.
Yes. These are the type of things that we instill in our student athletes, and when you come play for me, that, you're getting my 110%. I'm in the gym 7 days a week. We have the gym open 7 days a week.
So there's no excuse not to come and get your work in.
Not to come get your work in.
Gotcha.
So we giving up our time for you. And as a coach that been there and done that, I played high school ball in the PSAL. I played until the high school. I went and I took the long route, right? I went to junior college in Miami. Then I went to play Division I, University of New Orleans, and I have my degrees. And I'm showing that, I came from where you came from.
For sure.
So it can be done. So
and you put the work in.
And I put the work in. So this is what you're getting from me. I'm going to prepare you so you could achieve the same things that I.
So you're basically like a walking testament for them.
Yes.
Like when you put in the work, you could achieve what I achieved.
Definitely.
And I'm in front of you so you can see it.
Yes.
All right, that's great. That's the greatest teacher when you can see it. For sure.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Coach Ryan? What should the kids expect from you when they come and play for Canarsie?
I think one of our selling points is that Coach mentioned that we got the gym open 7 days a week.
Right.
Throughout my journey, I did enough studies, did enough coaching clinics, and I went that route just to understand how to teach and how to really impact kids in learning, to get the results that you need.
Absolutely. So
when they come to this program now, they know that they're going to have a structure of learning throughout the season. It's never going to be a day you walk in this gym and it's a down day. We just relax in and shoot around. Everything is purpose. You're going to learn everything you need for the next level.
So what I got from you guys is not only are you expecting them to come and work hard, but to learn as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Work hard and learn. And y'all are here for them. Y'all got the resources here for them. You got the gym open for them. You got the walking testament right here with Coach Jake for them, where they could come in and ask questions. That's great. I like that. I like that.
I want to touch on that too.
Absolutely.
I want to add on. And they not only getting it from myself, right? The whole coaching staff,
right, brings
a purpose, right? Everybody brings a purpose. Like he just said, he did his own researches and clinics and stuff like that to get his skills up to where he can be able to have a strong input. I have another one, Coach Craig. You know, he used to play for the Harlem Globetrotters, right? So he's a professional. He's a professional that can help teach and train.
Absolutely.
I have one of the leading scorers when he was in high school, Coach Ricky Rivers, that runs Fun Sport.
Shout out Ricky Rivers.
My JV coach, he's one of the bona fide shooters coming out of high school, right? So he could also have good input in teaching. I have alumni, Rob White, that used to play at Canarsie, right? He's another 1,000-point scorer that played at Canarsie.
Rob White, holla at you.
So he's another one. They used to play for me when I used to coach at Grady. A point guard, Wayne Turner. He used to also with the Ole Miss. He played at Ole Miss.
Wayne Turner.
So
keep going. You can keep going. I like it. Yeah. So they have abundance of resources.
Resources throughout the whole staff. So there's nobody that you can't go to and learn from. Everybody been there and done that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my pet peeves when I go to pick out my staff. I want knowledgeable guys around me.
Gotcha.
You know, so the kids could be able to get the knowledge that they need from anywhere they look. You know, so that's a shout out to my coaching staff. Right.
When you have many different avenues where the kids can go, they'll never get lost. You know, they can go to this guy, this guy, this guy. If this guy's got a kid, I could go to this guy.
Definitely.
It doesn't matter. I love that. So off the court mentorship, you guys mentioned that Canarsie is really big on the community. And once the community is behind, it's easier to rally the kids. Could you speak on getting the kids ready for the next level? Because most kids who play high school basketball want to play college basketball. Yes. How are you getting them ready for the next level?
Well, like I said, we're getting them ready for the next level. The things off the court that we do, we actually have them involved in certain things. We actually bring organizations here so the kids can see. Like nice. We had a cancer awareness event with organization here.
Nice.
We just took the kids to CBS.
Nice.
Right before the Final Four, so they could get a vision of education of the behind the scenes.
For sure.
Final Four, they was able to meet Charles Barkley while he was there.
They met Chuck.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm jealous. They met Chuck. Yeah, all right, I got you.
So these like little of the avenues that we give to kids outside of basketball, outside of the gym.
That's amazing.
To help educate you on, life beyond basketball. Things that can be, happen, or things that you could tack on to if you happen to have that type of career in basketball. But these are other things that you can also,
teaching them things about life as well.
Yes.
There's things outside of basketball that could pique your interest.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And that's God's work that y'all doing, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to get into this season. Obviously this season didn't end how you wanted because y'all are not champions, right? Is it safe to say that?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so could you give us one of your hardest matchups, or what was one of your biggest adversities throughout the season?
I think hardest matchups, I think we had two of them. We did have a couple of injuries and guys being ill at a crucial point in our season.
Right.
Where we was going to go on the road to Brooklyn Collegiate. And we all know that's not
it's not easy to get a W over there.
Yeah,
right?
So we was down 3 starters for that game and really relied on the bench and came out of there with an overtime victory.
Wow.
So I think certain opportunities like that for the guys, help them grow. And I think one of our biggest adversities this year was going over into Eagle Brooklyn. Right? Thinking we coming back prepared, and we go in there and lose by 20 and 30 points, two games, and then we got to play them again in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a shocker. Yeah, it's a shock to the system.
Yes.
But you could capitalize off what y'all went through this year.
Yes,
and next
definitely,
year.
Definitely.
You got something for them, I would assume.
Yes, well, we returned the favor where it counted the most in the playoffs.
Hello.
We went over there and buckled down and got that victory. But
right.
I think the perseverance of learning through that process to be able to get that third win, I think it showed a lot for the whole program.
For sure. Could you speak on maybe you have a different
I think
point of view than Coach Jake?
Well, for me, being in the gym with the guys, one of the biggest things was watching the progression from preseason until we got to the end of the road,
right?
And understanding the type of talent that we had. And my biggest challenge was trying to figure out how we were going to be able to put it all together and have it mesh in time, because you had the new group I think that was the biggest challenge, having a new group, and you could see the talent and understanding the expectations, and then the outside noise of feeling like, yo, we can't put this together fast enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Pressure could be pressure could build up.
Yeah, it's there. Like I think one of the biggest. We started out the season well, and then I think we had a loss in Wagner, which I think we either up at halftime or it was tied, or probably could have been down one or something. It wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And then just couldn't put it together in the second half.
That's frustrating.
It's a frustrating way to lose.
For sure.
The kids feel that frustration, coaching staff, but I think that was the biggest thing, just understanding that this was going to take some time. It wasn't always going to be pretty. I think, and I think we had another situation where after beating the team, I think South Shore, we beat them by 20 or 30, and then go to South Shore and lose at the buzzer, basically, you know what I'm saying? So,
after beating them by 20, 30?
Jeez. And it was just a matter of guys coming together and understanding, because a lot of it, when you deal with all these new personalities, everyone is trying. I think one of the biggest things, Coach, was us going through, whether you won or lost, or it was a close win where you should have won, and guys feeling like, well, I need to be in this type of role. This is what I do well, and the reason I even brought that up, because we had one of our players, I'm not going to mention his name, felt like, yo, he's better at going to the rim, and he became our best catch and shoot player. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And that was one of the roles he wanted. He wanted to get the ball and go, and he became one of the guys that was hitting between 4 to. He shot the ball like about 70% on catch and shoot from three. And he was.
No, we got to say his name. What's his name?
That's Jaden Perkins. He's gonna laugh. He's gonna laugh.
You shot it well, bro. You shot it well. Sometimes you think you got something for you, it's not for you. Something else.
But it wasn't. For him, just for him to understand, it wasn't that it's something you cannot do. It was just in the role for the team. You didn't need to do that. For us to be successful. And I think that was the biggest challenge. And if we could have gotten them on board more, I think those reps would have been more so important down the stretch. You could have crossed some more hurdles because you've been way more comfortable in your roles.
For sure. For sure.
So I think that was, for me,
and that's a valuable
biggest challenge
that he could take with him to the next level.
Absolutely.
Even though you think you might be killer in this one thing, we need you for this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And for the team to have success, we need you to do this.
Definitely.
So that was definitely a learning point. I like that answer, Coach. Appreciate that. All right. So with BK, this year BK is the Borough champs, citywide champs.
Absolutely.
And I know y'all being from BK, it's a little chip on y'all shoulder. I know it is. So could you speak on not being happy for BK, but wanting to bring another championship back to BK next year for you guys?
Yeah, I don't know the last time another borough won it, to be honest.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. I mean, Brooklyn's holding it down. Brooklyn is holding it down. True. That is the truth.
I think it's probably one of the first times that another borough played against Brooklyn in the championship. It used to be a Brooklyn thing.
BK, I mean, Thomas and Eagle Bronx.
Yeah.
Got you.
First time, so
that was a battle too.
Yes, it was a battle.
Yeah, it was a battle.
Yes.
All right,
but definitely. We that was our goal this year, and it's still gonna be our goal for next year.
Absolutely.
We set our goals. We want to win our division. We want to win the boroughs, and we want to win city championships.
And y'all are in a tough division.
Yes.
Tough division. So it starts there. I feel like if y'all get there, then the sky's the limit for y'all.
Definitely.
For sure. Before I let you guys leave, I really got to get down to the nitty gritty with the question that we ask every coach and every player. It's the name of our show, Down to the Wire. When it comes down to the wire, coaches, what is one player that y'all are going to, or one player that y'all going to win the game? This is for all the coins. This is for everything. This is for the championship. Who are you going to, or what player are you drawing up when it's down to the wire?
So my suggestion.
I'm listening.
I think my suggestion would always be PJ Singleton.
PJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know, we see it time and time again. In fact, you know, we see it all the time. The work ethic, the work he put in, I back the work. You know, whether he makes or misses, I always back the work. You know, and for me, I say, yo, it's either you bring it home or you don't. You know, so I always go to him, and you know, he'll come through more times than not. You know, you're not gonna make everyone, but I could trust that PJ can give us a bucket from the three, from the mid, you know, to the rim.
3-level scorer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If they foul him, I'm confident he's gonna knock down the free throws.
Gotcha.
You know, so in that regard, I'll go to him, you know.
Clear it out?
Yeah, but it's never gonna be like that because they're gonna double him when the ball is being inbounded. He's gonna be double. But you know, if he had the opportunity to catch and shoot that thing, or we could get, you know, get something to, you know, get him the basketball, he could create a shot and help us win a game.
What about yourself, Coach?
Well, depending on the situation, like I said, if we could create something to get him up and get a shot, we'll go to PJ. But if it's gotta go straight breakdown, I'm going to Xavier Francis.
Xavier Francis,
He was like a under the radar, unguardable guard that we had this year.
Yeah.
Is he coming back?
No, he's a senior.
Oh man,
he's up there, number 5.
Gotcha.
So, and to go, he's a great option too. If we had no timeouts left and that ball just had to go, you get it off the rim, and he had the ball in his hand. You know, we're not screaming this from the sideline. Yo, find PJ. We trust X to, you know, go and get to the rim, get an and-one.
Characteristics of a great league guard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't need to tell me what to do. I know what to do.
He gonna go get it.
Absolutely. Coach, I appreciate your time. Thank you for having me here at Canarsie. This is my first interview in Brooklyn. I'm coming back. All right.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all.
Hopefully the next one with the city championship.
That's it. Next one we're gonna do it in front of the banner. We're gonna have a banner behind us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming out.
For sure. Signing out, y'all.